ready to learn with us on Bass University Live. Bass University Live starts now.
Well, Pake's starting to show off with us right away. I guess I messed it up. It's been a couple weeks, so let's just—he's with us right off the bat. He can chat with us about Athens,
well,
everything
there you
like
go.
that off the rip.
Well, there's no secrets now. We got him. Pake South's with us, guys. He's an Elite Series rookie this year, and brand new rookie at the Bass University this year in Texas as well. So it's very cool to have you with us, Pake.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate being invited to the Bass University deal in Athens. That was a blast to be able to go talk there, and I'm super glad to be able to talk on here.
Yeah, well, we're really glad to have you. And how did that feel? You know, you're very young, but you know it's getting to be so common. We say that these really high performers are coming in at younger and younger ages, it seems. But you know, going from an Elite Series qualifier and you know, fishing through the high school program, Lake Fork guide. Now you're standing up in the front of the Bass University class. How was that experience?
It was really cool to be able to go from starting off where I did and working my way up, and then to be able to stand there and give a couple seminars was really cool. And signing autographs for the first time, I've signed a couple, but signing autographs was super cool for me. And being up there where, you know, when I was a little kid watching people that I looked up to standing up there giving seminars, and now I'm the one up there doing it. It's a really cool experience.
Yeah, that must have been really cool, and it was great to have you. And I want to take a moment here, Pake, because something really important has happened in the industry, and one of the heroes of the sport has passed, Dion Hibden, and I just wanted to express my condolences to the family. Dion won the Bassmaster Classic in 1997, and that was my first Bassmaster Classic, and it was down at Logan Martin in Alabama when he won. His father, Dion Hibden, one of the guys at the forefront of the sport, AOY winner, Classic winner, one of the very few. I don't know how many there are, but there's not many father and sons that have done all the things that they have done. So I just want to recognize his passing. 58 years old, way too young. We don't know have many details on what the illness was that he was battling, but I love that Hibden family. They were just the grassroots kind of people, just really cool, down to earth. Even I loved my time with Guido Hibden, Dion's father. He just made you feel so warm, even though I didn't have much. You know, I didn't know him that well, but he just made you feel just welcome. And for a guy with that much accomplishment, one of the biggest heroes of the sport, to be able to do something to a guy like me that was new to the sport, I was always appreciative and thankful of that. And sorry to lose Dion, one of our heroes of the sport. And it's funny how the generations have changed, Pake. I don't know. I know I was talking with Justin earlier. Justin was not that familiar with Dion's career. Were you aware of the Hibden family, Pake?
A little bit, but not a lot. I kind of knew who he was a little bit, but not super. I don't know a whole lot about it.
He would have fit right in. He was like the original finesse guys. Like he had a little tiny finesse tube called a G3. Those guys were dominating with spinning rods at a time when everybody was power fishing. Unlike what's going on right now with all the sonar technology, the spinning rods are dominating. So I think the I think the Hibdons would have been right at home in, in today's world. But yeah, the spinning rod is dominated. And how about you? Is that dominating your catch? Is that your strength? Is that your style?
Not really. I throw spinning rod a little bit. I would rather throw a bait caster than some big line. But I still, I mean, you gotta be able to throw a spinning rod now. You gotta be able to finesse them and throw a minnow and some other stuff on a spinning rod. But I would much rather be throwing a bait caster, and I really don't throw a spinning rod a whole lot. Of course, the smallmouth tournaments and stuff like that, you're pretty much have all spinning rods on the front deck, and a few other tournaments. But most of the time, I don't really have but 1 or 2 spinning rods on the front deck if I have any at all.
Man, that's interesting because so many your success is just phenomenal. I gotta say it. I was looking at your 1 year. You've have 1 year on the opens and the EQs, and you've checked in every tournament but one. So it surprises me to hear you that you're a power fisherman. You did that with power rods in your hand. That's very surprising.
Yes, sir. I like power fishing. I like power fishing with live scope too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I would much rather go throw a frog than shake a minnow. But even when I am shaking a minnow, I don't really like to be finessey with it. Now, of course, I throw a minnow on a spinning rod, but I catch a lot of live scope fish on a jig and a jerk bait and casting rods and covering water moving fast. And I don't really finesse fish that much.
What's the strategy there? Like you just give one shot at them, and if they go, they go. If they don't, they don't. You move on to the next target.
Pretty much. I like covering water and finding fish that's going to bite. And typically, if they're going to bite, they do it the first cast. So I just give them 1 to 3 casts of fish and then move on. Keep going and throw it as many fish as I can possibly throw at throughout a day.
Has that does that come from guiding? Like well, Ted, now we know you're a Lake Fork guide. You've spent. We were talking pre-show. This is amazing. You remind me of Randy Howe. I think Randy Howe ran his first guide trips when he was 16 years old on Lake Gaston. How old were you when you first started guiding?
I was 17, right after I graduated high school.
That's amazing. And did you start right away on Lake Fork?
Yes, sir. Did my first guide trip on Lake Fork, and that's where I do most of my guide trips. And I do kind of a little bit. We got some little lakes around here that are pretty good too that I'll do some trips on, but most of it's at Lake Fork.
Tell me how has guiding, like, there's, I guess the argument or the discussion is guiding good for tournament fishing? Like, does it hurt your tournament fishing? Does it make you better? How has guiding influenced your tournament fishing?
It's made me better. Now, I mean, you can go either way with it. If you go out there and go run the same 5 waypoints all day and just have your customers cast to the same spot every day, you're probably not helping yourself much. You might be hurting yourself. But staying on the water every day and always looking for new stuff and really working to put people on fish and stay on top of them consistently day to day really helped me out a lot and helped me just learn bass behavior, learn what to do, what different weather does to them. Because you have a whole week of guide trips booked and the weather's changing every day, and you're gonna have to be out there every day no matter what. You start to learn kind of what they do a lot quicker than if you were only fishing every now and then. Just the time on the water is the biggest part of it.
I think I did a lot of guiding too, and one of the things that I struggled with, well, I think everybody does struggle, is the decision making and the pressure of the tournaments and having to make the decisions on weather changes and whatever you're facing. But I felt like guiding really trained me for that, because you're making decisions every single day. So a tournament never felt any different to me. It was just like another guide trip that I had to solve the puzzle that day. It sounds to me like that's kind of what happened to you too.
Pretty much about the same thing, you know. And when you're out there having to make those decisions every day to put people on fish, it makes it a little easier when you've already made that decision or seen those conditions 4 or 5
Yep.
times while you're guiding. It makes it a lot easier to make that decision during a tournament.
And it took the pressure off, like, you know, because you'll make wrong decisions guiding. You're like, you know, all right, well, that's not the right one. You know, I've got a series of decisions that I can maybe go through here and solve the problem. So for me, it gave me a big time. It relaxed me, I guess, is the best way to phrase it, when I was making those real time tournament decisions.
Yes, sir. Kind of the same deal for me.
Well, it's I expect you to be a finesse rod guy, you know, like guiding these guys, teaching them, getting them bit on scope and doing that kind of stuff. But that's not the way it went for you. You're getting guys on fish in a different way.
Yes, sir. Being around Fork and around East Texas with all the timber, I don't really like to finesse. You finesse too much, and you're not going to put the fish in the boat. So I didn't really grow up finesse fishing or anything. So it's not really, I can do it. I think I'm pretty good at it, but it's not my strong suit. So I tend to be more on the power side of finesse fishing. And even when I'm throwing a minnow on a spinning rod, it's not really all that finessey.
Big minnows, heavy, you know, fast moving baits, that kind of thing.
Yeah, bigger line. I still throw like 10-pound braid. I throw that like 10-pound X9, just for casting distance. Yeah. But usually like 15 to 17-pound leader, and I don't really. I mean, I drag set a little bit, but I don't really go easy on them that much on a minnow, and that's whether I'm throwing a 7 or 8 inch minnow or a 4-inch minnow. I might go down a little bit on line size if I'm throwing a little bitty minnow, but even with the spinning rod, I like to be able to control the fish. I don't like when the fish is controlling what I'm doing. I want to be able to horse them out of whatever I need to.
Are you doing a lot of electronic training on Lake Fork with your guides, or a lot of people coming to you for that deal?
Yeah, a lot of it's live scope training, electronic stuff, and tournament strategy stuff is what it's turned more into. You know, when I first started guiding, it was more just people wanting to go catch fish, and we didn't scope hardly at all, really. It was just fishing. But the more success I've had in tournaments, the more my guidance switched to tournament strategy and live scope lessons. And some people want to just go chase giants. We'll go do that too. Like just not throwing at them unless they're big, just looking for a giant all day. But that's the main deal in my guiding right now.
What's the number one tip that you give to your clients who are trying to learn and be proficient with forward-facing sonar? What do you see? Like go ahead.
Spend a lot of time on the water looking at it, and don't spend too long on one fish. Just keep moving as one tip I give people. I see a lot of people that, you know, they'll look at a fish and they'll throw at it and it doesn't bite, and then they'll just keep throwing at it over and over again, and it's not going to bite most of the time unless you throw some kind of weird something he's never seen before. But even then, they're probably not going to bite after they've already kind of been educated that there's something wrong going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's me. It's like you can't resist. You know, you see him, you see the marks, you know, and you got Justin in the boat with me hollering at me that I'm not working it right, I'm doing this wrong, and you just keep trying and trying. But that's the move. It's so funny you say that, because like before we started looking at them with forward-facing sonar, that's exactly how we all learned how to fish. It's like you make one presentation to a stump, and you get that fish, or you don't get that fish, you move on to the next stump. And it's the same strategy with but you can't help it. You get sucked in, Pake. You see those marks, and you're like, all right, let me try throwing a spider on them. Let me try throwing a little minnow. you get drawn into that, and that's a mistake.
Yes, sir. And I like the first year and a half, 2 years that I had live scope, I was the same way. I mean, we would spend forever on like 3 or 4 fish sitting on a tree trying to force them into biting. And
Yeah.
95% of the time, those fish are not going to bite anything if they didn't bite the first couple of cats.
Yep. Well, let's talk about a little bit, and this is a fun thing to talk about because you live in the land of the giants, and you have clients that really you just mentioned that you just want to chase big ones. From what I know, from what I see on the the share lunker program, this is the time of year in Texas to go hunting big fish. Is January through, I guess, March. Is that your experience?
Yes, sir. Really, from now until you still got some time in April, but from now until they get through spawning, it's the best time of year to chase a big one for sure.
We were talking about this, Justin, we've seen this, down at the share lunker guys. When it gets miserably cold and icy, that's when they get their big ones coming in. But you haven't had that kind of weather, Pake. It's been warmer. How has that affected the big fish bite?
It's affected a little bit. Now I'm still seeing a whole bunch of big ones on scope. There's been a bunch of giants that haven't bit. I don't know if when it gets really, really cold, if their brain doesn't work as good or what. But the bigger fish tend to bite better the colder and nastier it is. They just act different, right? Like right now, I've seen quite a few double digits swimming around fork, and you throw a jerkbait or anything else at them, and they'll run up there and look at it, and they tell real quick that something's off. But now, if that water was like 45 degrees, even if they don't bite, they follow it for way longer than they would if it was, the water's like in the low 50s right now. I've seen it up 55, 56 some days. And it just hasn't gotten cold. When it gets cold, the big ones just seem to bite better. And I don't know exactly why, but it's way easier to get them to commit to a bait when it's cold.
That's what we see. That's what we've heard. But you've got the warm weather now. I heard the guys were just saying you just got a 9-pounder just the other day.
Yes, sir. I think it was Sunday after I got out of church. We went and fished a little local lake for a few hours and we didn't catch very many. That lake that we fished doesn't have a whole lot of bass in it, but there's some big ones. And I it was a 966. That's my biggest of the year so far, and caught it on a jerkbait. She bit real easy. That lake doesn't get a whole lot of pressure. So she acted like she had never seen a jerkbait before. She wasn't ever coming off. She had it like down her inner crushers almost.
Wow.
Those are the fish I like targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Only
find
way I'll
enough
catch
of
'em.
those.
Yeah.
So that's almost a 10-pounder. If a guy's going out right now trying to catch big fish, is that your number one go-to right now? Would be throwing that jerkbait on them? What's the best way to get a big fish right now?
Number one right now, especially with this being a little warmer, the jerkbait. If it gets like super, super cold, they'll eat an A-rig, but they're kind of veering off eating an A-rig. The longer scope's out, the worse it is. But a jerkbait's one of those baits that you can do so much with the jerkbait, you can still get fish to commit to it. You can let it sit dead still if you want to. You can twitch it real fast. I mean, you can just do so much. And if you know how to work a fish correctly, you can get a lot more commits on a jerkbait than anything else.
Well, you open it up to tell me what's the correct way. How do you work a fish? How do you trigger those bites? What are some things that maybe guys are doing wrong?
Number one thing guys do wrong is let the bait sit there too long. Like when I was a little kid growing up, when we were throwing a jerkbait before live scope, and I'm sure everybody did, and we used to catch them pretty daggum good on fork on a jerkbait before scope was ever even a thing. Just pre-spawn, going fishing clay points and tree lines and stuff with the jerkbait. But one of the number one mistakes is letting it sit there too long. Everybody always talked about before scope, letting it sit there for 7 or 8, 9, 10 seconds when it's cold, to let the fish come to it. And the fish, they don't move that slow, even when the water's that cold. So like when you see one on scope run up to your bait, as soon as that fish closes the gap on my bait, or as soon as the fish slows down or looks like he's about to lose interest, you got to twitch it again. And it's just like playing cat and mouse and building up momentum with the fish. Like I see a lot of people, the fish will run up there and almost merge on the screen where you don't see any more separation, and they just, your instincts to let it sit there and let the fish eat it. But you gotta keep moving it and keep pulling it from him until the fish finally actually does eat it. And most of the time, it'll run up there and close the gap all the way when there's no separation. You'll go to twitch it again, and there she is. She's got it in her mouth.
Nice. Well, talk to me about like the types of baits. Like, are you using bigger baits for bigger fish, or are you the plus ones, the plus twos? What's your system?
My number one jerkbait, and I like to keep stuff really simple. I like to find something I have confidence in and stick with it and keep that as a baseline, and then switch differently from that if I have to. But the number one jerkbait that I've got tied on, anytime I've got a jerkbait tied on, is a Berkeley stunner, just the normal 112 stunner, not a plus one or plus two, just the normal stunner. And I have it on in the Matt Tennessee shads. A good natural killer, good all around killer, and you can catch them in 5-6 foot of visibility water, or like a foot of visibility water in it. And I keep that as just my baseline, and I really very rarely have to switch off of that. One of the reasons I like that stunner is because it's a very slow sinking bait. It doesn't suspend perfectly. It sinks very slowly. Like that video I posted the other day catching one on it. That stump was down there in like 10 foot on the bottom. You can get that stunner. I catch them on it in like 15 foot of water a lot of times. You can sink it down to them. And it gets, with it being a little bit slow sinking, you can make a real long bomb cast and get it down 10, 12 foot of water without having to wait on it that long or do a whole lot to get it down there. And you can turn around and go catch one in 4 foot of water on the same bait, because if you make a shorter cast past the fish, it's not going to dive as far. So it's a real versatile bait. So that's my baseline. And sometimes when it's a little bit warmer, I'll go up to a bigger jerkbait, like a 130 size jerkbait. But most of the time you don't have to. They just eat the normal stunner better than anything else from what I've seen.
Now that's a Hank. I think Hank Cherry played in the design of that stun, and shout out to Berkeley, all the guys in Athens, and all of our students that are coming to Anderson are getting awesome gift packs full of Berkeley products. So we want to thank them and love having them being part of the program. But Hank talks in his jerkbait seminar about the stunner, and I'm interested. Is the stunner, does it fall tail first? Does it fall even? How does that bait fall?
It sits nose down in the water.
Okay.
And you want, no matter what jerkbait you're throwing, you want it to sit a little bit nose down. Just so, like, if your jerkbait's sitting nose up and you twitch it, it's going to dart the nose down before it actually darts or dives. You want it to sit nose down where the bill's already ready to do what it's designed to do as soon as you twitch it. So it sits, you don't want it to just be like straight, up and down, vertical in the water, but it sits a little bit nose down.
Okay. And do you ever modify it? Do you ever add weight or add float or change hooks to alter it?
The only thing I really do is change hooks. I don't ever add any lead wire or anything. You can, if I'm going to be fishing really deep, and a lot of times I'll have 2 stunners tied on. I'll have one with the stock hooks or something similar, same size as the stock hooks, and then I'll have another one with a little bit bigger hooks, so it sinks just a little bit faster to get it down to the deeper fish. But I try to limit weighting a jerk bait, because you get to a point to where it sinks too fast and then it's not natural, and you can't keep it in front of a fish when you have to. So I try to limit it I try to weight it the least amount possible to still be efficient and get it to them.
I got you. Let me ask you about the how far will a fish come for it? Like the jerk bait, I mean, by design, it's going to go down to maybe 10 feet. On the deeper side of things, are you letting it, how close to a fish do you need to be successful to get those jerk bait bites?
It all depends on watercolor, and the mood of the fish. Now, if you've got like really clear water, sometimes you want those fish to have to travel a long ways, because they'll
Right.
fire off real quick and get fired up. By the time they get there, they're already swimming fast, and it's easier to get them to commit. And when you get them to come that far and your bait's already working fast, they can't see it as good, and it's easier to get them to commit. But like the one that I caught the other day, that 966, I made like 3 or 4 casts at her before she ever even saw my bait. And I had to put it like less than a foot from her, but to get her to turn around and start chasing it. Of course, it was a lot dirtier water. There was like 6 to 8 inches of visibility in that water. So all depends on water clarity and mood of the fish. And that's something that you just have to play with throughout the day. And it'll change from lake to lake and sometimes from day to day. I mean, sometimes they're just in a biting mood and real fired up. You don't have to get it that close to them. And sometimes they want it real close to them where they don't have to move very far. And if you notice, you throw at them and they're seeing it and they're coming for it, but by the time they're getting closer to it, they're slowing down. You probably need to get it closer to them to start off with, and they'll typically commit better. But if it's spooking them by getting it too close, you might want to try to get it a little bit farther away from them and get them to go find it.
Get them to go find it. Well, what's the strat there? Is it, we have a tendency, we're seeing the marks and throwing beyond the fish to be able to get that bait down to where the fish is. Are you coming over his back? Are you trying not to do that? Maybe coming on the side of a fish? How important is that to be a little stealthy?
I always come over the top of them. You always want to come above the fish, but you don't necessarily want to just work it up there as fast as possible. I'll cast past the fish. I'll get it, 5 foot or so behind them. And then I'll do kind of light single twitches. Just do one twitch and then watch the fish. And you'll kind of notice, just watching the fish, they'll kind of brighten up. And most time they hear and feel your bait before they see it. You'll see them brighten up and then one twitch again, and they'll brighten up again. And you just kind of keep creeping it up on them until they find it, and then start chasing it, and then you can start playing the fish. And same way if you're working it, trying to draw fish out of brush piles, that's a big mistake I see a lot of people make. They'll throw a jerkbait over a brush pile and they'll just work it over the top of the brush pile real quick. You do that, I mean, you'll have fish that'll hear it in there, but they never saw it and they'll never come out and look at it. When I throw it a brush pile, I get it up behind the pile and I'll twitch it once and then wait a little bit and see if anything's moving. And twitch it again, wait a little bit and see if anything's moving. And when you do that one twitch, they hear the rattles, they feel the bait moving, and a lot of times they'll start looking for it. And if you don't leave your bait there for them to find it when they start looking for it, then you're never going to catch that fish. But if you leave it there to where when they do come out looking for whatever was making that noise, your bait's right there and you're a lot more likely to catch that fish.
Wow, good stuff. How about distance? We keep hearing more and more about expanding your distance from, we used to be able to get them straight, at 40 feet, 20 feet. Now it's 60, 80. You got to get out there away from the boat. What are you seeing? Are these fish getting educated? Do you have to trigger the strikes further and further away?
Around here, not really. The only reason that I want to keep them out of the distance is so I have more room to play to work the fish. You don't want to run out of room where the fish is chasing real hot and then all of a sudden you're at the trolling motor and you don't have any more room to work him.
Right.
These fish, don't seem like they're that shy of the boat. I don't really think they're hearing the transducer itself. I think they're hearing the boat noise, waves slapping on the side of the boat, and your trolling motor and all that. These fish around here, is even as pressured as they are, they don't seem that spooky to it. There's some of them that are. Like I saw one at Fork the other day that was probably one of the biggest bass I've ever seen on live scope, and I didn't even get to make a cast at it because it went in the bottom and disappeared before I even threw.
Wow.
But most of the fish don't seem that spooky. I still catch fish at like 15 or 20 foot on scope that'll just pop out of a stump all of a sudden and be right in front of me and just make a little flip to them almost, and they'll still eat it. Really the only deal with distance for me is just keeping them far enough away from the boat where you have room to play the fish.
Makes sense. I mean, let me ask you this. Are you spending a lot of time throwing at like structure targets, or are you only throwing at targets where you see a fish?
And that depends. If I'm on somewhere where there's not a lot of cover, I'm going to throw at every piece of cover I see. Say if I'm on a flat and there's isolated pieces of cover here and there, I'm going to cast at every single one of them, whether I see a fish in there or not. Now, if I'm on Fork, scoping up a creek or up a drain, and there's thousands of trees everywhere, I'm not going to, you would spend all day in one drain trying to throw at every tree. So if there's like an abundance of cover, I'm just going to move through there and throw when I see fish. Or, if you see a tree that's got some big branches where it's real tight and it looks like there should be one hiding in there, but you can't really see one, I'll throw through it, but I'm not going to throw at every single tree. It kind of just depends on the situation where the cover is, just throwing at the high percentage areas.
I got you. I want to ask, I'm looking at this, and this was impressive. You have one season on the opens, and you absolutely crushed it. You checked in every event, except for our favorite, Lake Champlain, and you just barely missed it there. How much of a role did jerkbait fishing play in this amazing season you just had?
Pretty good. Not as much as I would have liked. It's one of my favorite techniques, but I think I caught him on a jerkbait at Champlain. Not at Champlain, at Rayburn at the first open, I caught him on a jerkbait. I caught him on a jerkbait at Kentucky, and I caught him on a jerkbait at Leech. Other than that, I think I weighed in one fish on a jerkbait at Wheeler. But other than that, I think that's the only ones I threw a jerkbait in.
Well, that's still a fair amount of the tournament trail, and like I said, with the exception of Lake Champlain, you were just stellar out of the gate. How do you explain that tremendous success? You're in a massive field of very, very talented anglers. How are you able to rise to the top and score so well with such little experience out there?
I think Texas fishing prepared me for it a lot. We've got such a variety of lakes here. And most of the lakes right by my house are pretty similar to each other, but we got lakes like Lake Belton down in central Texas. I can drive up north a little bit, go to Lake Texoma, or cross the border. Like I fish Lake Murray in Oklahoma a little bit. Just fishing a bunch of different stuff around here, to where when I did get on the road traveling, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that was really foreign to me. The only thing that I had to learn a little bit was the current at Kentucky Lake, is nowhere even or nothing like that. So I had to learn that a little bit, but it kind of clicked for me pretty quick. Everywhere just clicked for me pretty good. The only one that was a little bit difficult was Champlain, and I thought it had clicked for me in practice, and then by the time tournament came around, it no longer clicked. So everything's just clicked, and I've been able to adapt. I don't know how to really put it into words of how I was able to adapt. It just kind of clicked whenever I'd go somewhere. It would always just click in my mind of what was going on.
Well, I think it comes a lot from experience. I see we were talking about this before we started the show. A lot of high school trophies behind you there on the wall. You spent you've obviously fished a tremendous amount. How was the high school experience for you? It looks like you had a pretty good time with it.
I had a real good time with it. The high school deal was great, and it's one of the big reasons I'm at where I'm at now. A lot of good tournament experience there. And it really, I've always, since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be on the Elite Series. I always wanted to fish the Bassmaster Classic, but the high school deal really lit a fire under me even more. Like my freshman year of high school, I don't think I ever cashed a check. I don't know if I even ever caught a limit. Long story short, I sucked at tournament fishing my freshman year of high school. It was bad. Didn't really have a clue what was going on. Wasn't practicing right. We were out there looking back at what we were doing in those tournaments. I'm thinking, what in the world what were we even doing? Didn't even make sense what we were fishing and how we were practicing. And then my sophomore year of high school, we kind of switched it up and did a little bit more map study and practiced a little different. And I got second I think it was either the first or second tournament of the year. And that's when it kind of clicked for me a little bit on more of the tournament fishing side. And every year since then, it's just kind of built from there. And I've gotten better and better at the tournament fishing side of things. And the high school deal was a great way to gain a lot of tournament experience, because there's as much, you can spend as much time as you want to on the water outside of tournaments, and it definitely helps a lot. You're always learning, but you don't learn the tournament strategy side of things until you're actually fishing a bunch of tournaments. So it really, really helped a lot being able to do the high school stuff.
I appreciate your struggles. A lot of the greats struggled. Like Michael Jordan got cut from his basketball team in high school, and you went through a process like that where you struggled. What did you learn? What were you? How were you practicing incorrectly as a freshman, like you said, and then what did you do to right that ship and say, oh, this is the way I need to be preparing as you got older in high school?
The freshman deal was pretty dumb. I mean, we would literally go we'd never really been in any of these lakes before. We'd go out there and we would be running around the lake and say, oh, that bank looks good. And we'd tie on a chatterbait and go down the bank. Then we wouldn't catch nothing there. And we'd go down another bank. And then we'd see a lay down bloat in the water. And I'd go flip a flipping bait in there for a few flips. And then we'd go look for another one. And we just real one-dimensional going down the bank with the chatterbaits. About all we did. Now, granted, you can win some money on a chatterbait, but not just going down random banks everywhere you go, no matter what the time of year. And I don't really know why we were doing that. Looking back, I was thinking, you know what? We did that at every single tournament all year almost. And then we just started looking for more consistent stuff. Did a little bit more map study, got off the bank a little bit and looked for more consistent stuff based on the time of year. And then it just built from there. And that's kind of, I always try to find the most consistent stuff that I know is not going to change. Something you can go practice it and and to have confidence it's going to be at least similar when you get there during tournament day.
Well, that's what we all want to find, but it's so interesting to hear that transition, and you've made it nicely, and now you're making it off into the big leagues, and what you're doing seems to be working really, really well. You got the elites coming up here. Man, you have a head of steam, a lot of momentum. Gotta feel pretty good, exciting going into the elites. What are you most excited about?
One of the tournaments I'm the most excited for is this first one at Guntersville. I'm ready to go turn the scope off and just go do some fishing. Been looking forward to that. As soon as I qualified, I've been looking forward. I've always wanted to go to Guntersville, never been before. I don't really like to pre-practice, so I never went and pre-practiced. Never seen the lake before. Don't know a whole lot about it other than obviously you see tons of stuff about Guntersville because it's such a popular lake. And everything I've seen online seems like it's going to be a fun place. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the whole season. I like the schedule, and I kind of like the 50-50 on the live scope rule. Ready to just go fishing. I haven't been able to. There's very few tournaments now that you can compete in without live scope. Now, granted, there's still, like, if you look at the results from last year, there was a lot of stuff won, a lot of money won without it. So you can still do it, but it's good to be able to just turn it off completely and not have to worry about it for a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. What are you, is it off during practice too? You're not allowed to use it during the scouting rounds?
Yep. It's off during practice, off the whole entire event. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, kind of getting back in the groove of fishing without it. And I've been doing it a little bit around the house. I'm looking forward to doing it for sure. And I'm fishing 2 trails next year too. I'm looking forward to that one, fishing Dual Threat, the new team trail. I'm actually leaving Friday to head to Florida to kick things off there. So I'm hoping I can keep the ball rolling through all the trails I'm fishing next year. It's going to be a busy schedule.
Yeah, man.
That's cool. The Dual Threat. That's the high dollar team tournaments, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you fishing with your old high school partner? Who you fishing
I'm
with?
not. I had a different partner 3 years of high school, and I fished 1 year high school solo. So I don't still fish with them much with any of my high school partners. I'm fishing it with the guy named Darren Longoria, local guy here. Me and him fished some tournaments together this year, busted some really big bags. And I think out of all the tournaments that we've ever fished together, we've missed a check once. So we click good together, fish good together, have the same fishing style. We're gonna see if it translates into a national trail.
Yeah. Are you allowed to have forward facing sonar for this team deal?
Yep, it's wide open. You can put 7 transducers on there if you want to.
How are you guys gonna split that up? 2 guys, you're in the same boat. Do you have a strategy for how to utilize forward facing with both of you
so
looking at it?
We've been doing that the last year or so that we've been fishing together. Pretty much. Now, if you throw the same fish at the same time with 2 different people throwing at it, you're gonna mess it up 90% of the time. So
Yep.
you have to have a partner that understands one person casting at a time. And both people need to understand that in a team tournament where you're scoping. But the strategy for both to still be efficient, it depends on the technique or whatever we're doing. But we'll either have the exact same bait tied on that way to where if one of us misses a fish or throws short or just is off, the next person can get on him real quick before he gets to either that or one of us will have one bait, one of us will have another, like a follow-up bait. Say one chasing my jerkbait and you can tell he's not going to bite it, I'll burn in and Darren will flick a Nico or something else on him and just kind of double team him.
Yep.
But, starting off, we're going to Okeechobee, so I don't know that we'll have to worry about that unless we go mess around in the canals or something.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of them boys thought that start of the year this year, and they were catching them doing that. Do you think 360 is going to play a lot this year on the elites again with the split deal?
In all the no scope tournaments, I think it's going to play a bunch.
Yeah.
Especially on Guntersville and Champlain, I think it'll play quite a bit too. I think you're going to need to have one on your boat for the no scope events. I think you'll see most everybody running one.
That'll be exciting to see. 360 playing a big factor again.
Yep, I'm going to have to get some more experience with it. As of right now, the only experience I have with it, I use it a lot at Fork to find brim beds, like post fun, and I use it a lot when the schools are set up. But other than that, I don't use it a whole lot because live scope's typically better for every other application than that.
Right. Well, log on into your old Bashu account. I'm sure there's some Brian Thrift and Brandon Polnick 360 stuff. Get you squared away with that.
Yeah, thank you. I heard you were a Bass University subscriber or are a subscriber, Pake. Is that true?
Yes, sir. My parents, I don't, it was a few years ago. My parents got me a Bass University subscription for Christmas one year. And I watched a decent amount of videos on there. I got on there quite a bit and watched all kinds of stuff.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Another Bass University subscriber doing well.
Who's now an instructor?
Now an instructor, now an elite angler, soon to be an elite champion coming out of Bass University. We develop a lot of elite guys. What's the best? I want to go back to partner fishing. What's the best thing you look for in a partner? And what's a partner, or how do you know when you've got to leave that partnership? It's not working.
You want to not button heads too much. Now, you get two guys in a boat fishing for 8 hours a day for however many days in a row. There's probably be some arguments and some disagreements, but you gotta.
Makes
I feel
sense.
like you kind of have to have the same fishing style a little bit and the same mindset about bass fishing. And we have got the same mindset. Now, you don't want to have somebody like a finesse fisherman and a power fisherman, it might be good to have both, to where one person's a specialty and that their specialty is each different deal. But you don't want to butt heads too much, to where if one of us says, "Hey, we need to burn through here quick and power fish it and throw a chatterbait and just run through here quick," and the other guy wants to drag a Cinco back there and slow way down, there's going to be some conflict with it. And somebody that you just have to get along good. You got to be good buddies, good friends, not just tournament partners. You got to get along good, especially doing something like dual throw, where you're going to be traveling all over the place that much time together. You got to be good buddies. You can't just be just a fishing partner.
For sure.
I heard that over and over again, Justin. We hear that from the college kids too. Is like that's like the number one thing is you got to like your partner. You got to enjoy spending time with them, and you both got to love fishing. That all the skill set, learning how to work together, learning how to make decisions, will all come as you grow as a team. But picking somebody that you like being around, it seems to be the one of the best tools for getting your partner.
You definitely have to have somebody that's just as fired up about bass fishing as you are. You can't be getting up in the morning having to go wake him up and him dragging out of bed, or vice versa, to get out there. You got to be just as fired up, just as ready to go catch them and go find the winning deal. You can't have anybody dragging behind, and you got to have somebody on the same page as you.
Yep. Sometimes we have to drag Justin out of bed to get out on the water.
Yep. Once I'm up, I'm ready to rock and roll though. But
that's funny.
Hey, Tucker Smith,
not everybody
waking up before every tournament, so it's not that big of a deal.
Everybody thinks I'm sleeping because I'm always last to the launch ramp, but that's by design. That's not because I'm dragging. I'm doing that.
Yeah, I might wake up after Pete, but I'm there 45 minutes before Pete. So that's all that matters.
That's my sneaky way to get out of the dock talk. To stay away from the dock talk. Be the last guy to the launch ramp.
I usually like to be the first one there if I can, or one of the first people there.
You're one of those guys.
Especially in an open. If you're the first one there, it's a heck of a lot easier to unload, go park and everything, than if you wait till the last 5 minutes.
200 boats. Yeah, 200 boats is a different deal unless you're launching at Hartwell in that great facility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got some guys. I see TW here with us. Chuck Fish, Pickwick Pirate. Interesting question. And I've not heard the name Pake before. Is that a family name, or what's up with Pake?
I believe it's Reba McIntyre's brother is who I'm named after.
Really?
I think that's I'm pretty sure that's what my parents named me after. So it's kind of a weird name, but I guess it goes good. Like my Facebook's Pake at the Lake, so I guess it fits. I get a lot of questions about my name.
That's very cool. Do you sing? Are you musical?
Not at all. Not even close.
Love it. Me either. Chuckfish giving TW a shout out for the 12th day of Christmas. Yeah, you're going to be going to Guntersville. I saw, well, we talk about Thrift. Thrift does give a master's class on 360 and Humminbird electronics at Bass University. So guys, that if you want to learn that technology, that's the place to go. Did some amazing work with us. It's right there for you. By the way, just Bass U 2.0. It's the new year, guys. Get subscribed, get signed up. You can watch Bass University on your Roku TV device, on Amazon Fire TV. The new app is incredibly easy to navigate and find what you're looking for on both Android and iOS. So get signed up for Bass University. And check it out. What's up, Keith Cowan? Good to have you with us, buddy. We're getting ready for the springtime fishing. It's not getting here quick enough in our part of the country. We're still a couple months away from that real nice warm springtime conditions. But Guntersville is really big. It's a really big lake. No pre-fishing. What is going to be your strategy to try to cut that massive body of water down into a manageable size?
I'm probably just going to go running around out there until I see something that looks good, or that's typically what I do. I'll just put the boat in the water and start running around and kind of just pick somewhere to start pretty quick and build off of that. If I like the area I started in, I'll kind of keep building on that. If I don't, I'll make a move and go somewhere else. I don't like to come into tournaments or any lakes with kind of preconceived notions of what's going on. So I just kind of pick somewhere to start when I get there, without really an idea, or I don't really have that much of a plan going into it. Honestly, I kind of just build that. I typically know way more about that by like halfway through the first day of practice. I'll kind of have at least a little bit of an idea of a plan for the rest of my practice. So I'll figure it out when I get there is pretty much the attitude I go into it with.
I like that strategy. Can be incredibly effective for a person not to have any preconceived notions and let the patterns develop in front of you. That's a great way to get into the winner circle. So it's going to be it'll be exciting to watch you compete. You're going to be competing with some mega superstars of the sport. One of which we want to give a shout out, Lee Livesey, another an amazing super champion out on the elite tournament trail, and one of our premier instructors at Bass University. He really can break down techniques and help people learn to catch fish so much better, and appreciate him being part of the program. But Lee brought you to us and said, man, this kid Pake is a super stud. You ought to have him working with you guys because he's going to be doing great things. That is a very tremendous testament from a really, really great angler. You've really resonated with him, Pake. That's gotta mean something.
It does. I really appreciate Lee for bringing me up in the conversation and speaking so highly of me. It means a lot for sure. I really appreciate him for that.
I'm sorry. How are you guys acquainted? Did you guys meet on Lake Fork, or is that how you guys know each other?
Just from around Fork at boat ramp a few times, and then Lee works through ships a little bit too in Gladewater, where I get my Phoenix from. So I've done a show with him there. Lee was giving a seminar there, and I was there helping out too, and kind of being around the same area. We don't live that far apart from each other. Fish the same lake, so just kind of know him from fishing around each other.
Awesome. And you guys are both chasing them big giants at Lake Fork, man. It's and what a neat place to grow up. What a neat place to hone your skills. And now you're going to be taking them out on the big trail.
Yes, sir.
The team tournament trail, they're starting out in Florida. Are they coming to Texas?
Not coming to Texas, unfortunately. I wish they were. The only tournament I think I'm fishing in Texas this year, I entered the Open on Rayburn. Just it's only about 3 hours from my house, so I went ahead and entered it. And I want a rematch from last year. I only got a one day shootout. Last year, so I kind of want a rematch on it. So I went ahead and entered that one, but that's the only Bassmaster tournament or any tournament that I've gotten in Texas. So we're going for the team tournament. We got Okeechobee first, and then St. John's, and then go to Guntersville for the elite, and then down to Rayburn. So I got a long stretch of tournaments right off the bat, all back to back.
No Lake Fork figures your rookie year. They're not going back to Fork. It's a
little disappointing, but I'm sure they'll be back eventually.
You'll be there next year. I'm
really looking forward to fishing a tournament out there where I can weigh in the slot fish. And, fish the Tuesday nighters out there, and you can go catch 35 pounds and weigh in 7 pounds because you got to keep the unders. So I'm really looking forward to going out there and being able to weigh in whatever I catch.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Well, we'll be rooting you on and watching you go through this process. It'll be very, very cool. Want to invite you guys to check out Pake seminars at Bass University. We're going to be releasing them here very soon. Jerkbaits, and you took on a topic that is pretty cool. Is big soft plastics for our classes this year. Man, a lot of guys, I mean, that kind of falls by the wayside. It seems people have moved away from that strategy, but you say no, man, that's a great way to get them.
Yep. That's one of my favorite baits to catch them on. Like I said, the power fishing deal, I like throwing a big rod and big line and a big hook. And they still bite it. People have kind of gotten away from it a little bit. Not so much on fork. I mean, all the guys still are throwing a big worm every summer. But it's something that works pretty good all over the place. And something that people don't scope with it a whole lot. So when you present it to fish on live scope that don't see that presentation a whole lot, it works pretty good, surprisingly well. And it's such a simple technique, but it works, and it still gets bit.
And it's easy to see the bait with your scope.
Yeah, while it's falling, it's easy to see the bait, and of course, once it hits the bottom, you can't see it. But usually by then, they've already ate it.
I gotcha. What? Any theory? Why the big worm? Is it just something that draws strikes? Is there something out in the environment that those fish are feeding on? I see it a lot on Kentucky Lake. It's always those 10 and 12-inch worms, and a lot of places, those big, long, skinny profiles get the bites.
I don't know that it's something. I don't know that it's imitating anything that they're eating. I think it's just a big profile and a big meal. Something they can go down there and not spend a whole lot of energy to go get, but it's a big meal. I think that's really the main deal about it. Just having a big profile bait is what makes it so good.
Yeah. And what's your color choices?
Keep it really simple. I throw either blue fleck as probably go-to color and some kind of red bug color. Anything that's got some red in it, like red bug or plum apple, something around those lines.
All right. What color? Could you say the word color again?
Color?
That's like I hear the Texas accent or something going on with that with the word color. But red bug and the red bug and what was the blue fleck are your go-to choices. When to throw which?
Just kind of let the fish tell you, really. Summer, like main summertime, seems the red bug to be a little bit better, and then the blue fleck every other time. But they're pretty interchangeable, and a lot of it's just watercolor, a little cleaner water. A lot of times I'll throw the red bug. A little bit dirtier water, I'll throw the blue flecks, a little darker color.
Okay. Well, you got a big set of tournament trails coming up. it costs a lot of money to do this sport. How's the sponsorship game? Has it been a good road for you? Are you still battling that front? How's that going?
It's been I've been very blessed with the sponsorship deal. And that's super crazy, but I definitely would not be here at all. I've been with Sandtone Lures. You can't see it on my hoodie, it's too low, but been with Sandtone Lures since I was like 6 or 7 years old. Little kid. They're based right out of Lake Fork.
Yeah.
Love working with them. I've got my own killer called Pake's Perch and their jigs and spinner baits and stuff. So they've been on board from the very beginning. Helped me out quite a bit on the opens last year. And then I've added some new people through relationships I've made through guiding. Shepherd Guard Service and then CT Drilling are some non-endemic people that have really helped me out quite a bit. And then just recently, since I qualified for the elites, I just got on board with Berkeley, Fenwick and Abu and Plano and the great people over there. Really enjoying that so far, and some products and stuff that they make that I've been throwing since I was a little kid, like that Blue Flake Power Worm's been a staple for forever. And it's really cool to be with a company like that I've always thrown their stuff, always really liked them, and to be on board with them now, it's a blessing.
Well, congratulations on that. Good job. Good pick for the people at Pure Fishing for being able to pick you up and get you on board. And we look forward. I'm sure we'll see the Stunner get its workouts this year with you. And awesome. Congratulations on that. And congratulations on the elites. Welcome to the Bass University. We appreciate you being part of our program, and really, really appreciate hanging out with you, buddy. It's good meeting you.
Thank you. I really appreciate y'all having me on. It's a good time.
It's a great time, and we'll wish you the best of luck this season. Everybody, this is Pake South, rookie out on the elites. Pake, good luck this year. And we are going to do, Justin, if you're able, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back with some more Bass University Live.
We're off the clock to clock more fish, to fill our live wells and empty our coolers, because there's more to explore. The latest Humminbird fish finders work fast, see clearly, and know all the best spots. They fish even smarter paired with the Minn Kota, and break down the water like never before. If you like your plans loose and lines tight, then it's time to explore. Only with Humminbird. Get right to the fight. New Mega Live 2 forward-facing sonar puts you on more fish with an ultra-clear, rock-solid picture of underwater action. Next-gen clarity, next-level fun. Only with Humminbird.
The original Element rods really Cashin's first launch, kind of at a price point level. With that, we got a lot of feedback.
And that's what brought about the Element Z2 and its launch. The most affordable American-made rod on the market.
When the sun's up and the bite's on, clarity is everything. That's why serious anglers trust Redfin. Built for the water, designed for performance. Lightweight frames, crystal clear optics, and rugged durability that stands up to long days on the water. Thanks to Zeiss Repel technology, water, oil, and even sunscreen just slides right off the lenses. Your vision stays crystal clear. See more, fish smarter, and protect your eyes with Redfin. Redfin polarized sunglasses. Comfort, clarity, contrast.
Mother Nature may be tough. I'm tougher. I'll take you where chaos is the cost of entry and where the fish are worth the fight. Because the bigger the question marks, the better the quest.
Welcome back to Bass University Live. I really enjoyed meeting Pake and getting to know him a little bit, Justin. You guys had the chance to spend the weekend with him in Athens, Texas. Give me your top 5 rundown Bass University moments this past weekend. Putting you on the spot.
Put me on the spot when I'm running on a few hours of sleep after a plane ride. But let's go here.
That's right. That's how you get the best out of you. What do you got?
Pake's seminars were great. I'll put those in there. His jerkbait seminar was money. Todd Castledine's hybrid hunter seminar. And then I'm gonna go with the amount of people that came up to us and were very happy about the new app, the new website, all that stuff. The friendships that are made there, multiple people or come every year just to see, friends, that stuff, and all the lady anglers that came this year. We had probably more than 10 female anglers that came, and that was awesome to see. I don't know if that's 5, but in my mind, I thought that was 5. So those are the 5 I'm going with, PG.
That's awesome. We've been seeing that in Texas. The youth and the ladies, especially the ladies, we get more female anglers coming to our Texas classes, which is it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool to see. They're very engaged. A lot of them were asking some of the better questions, so it was awesome to see that. And if you want to be a part of this, I'm getting right back on the plane, and we're going to go set up in Anderson, South Carolina. We got Emil Wagner's going to be there, John Cruz. We got another great lineup. So if you're in the area, come on out, get some tickets, and it's going to be a good time.
Blueback herring lakes, arguably the most challenging types of lakes. They offer a set of challenges that you don't get in a lot of other fisheries, and it requires customized approaches to being able to catch both those spots and largemouth that live in places like Hartwell and Lanier and Smith Lake down in Alabama, and all the places where the blueback herring have thrived. Kerr Reservoir up here in Virginia. There are techniques that get the wins and catch more fish. So we have a really great set of instructors coming to Anderson that have a really amazing experience at dealing with these types of fisheries and how to be successful. So it's a great, and of course, and then we have the greats. We have the Brian Schmidt and we have the John Cruz. We have the veterans that bring it and can help you catch fish under any condition. So it's a really great class. Go to bassu.tv/ticket.
Ticket.
To get your, did I say it incorrectly?
No, I was just making a joke. It sounded like you were going to say backlash.
Backslash. That's what we should say.
That's what it should be.
Yeah. With all my cough drops that I got to keep sucking on. How many of you guys have the flu? I got the flu. There's A and B. I got B. And man, it's been an absolute crusher, but I'm coming out the other side of it finally. So it's really good to get through this. I hope you guys are getting through this winter season without too much. But we've got all that going on, and like I said, get signed up for Bass U. It's a new year, new you. We have crafted. And big shout out to you, Justin, and Riz, and Jocelyn, and Jeff Olson, putting together, curating some of the some of the great instruction that we have at Bass University this year that are going to carry us into 2026 with some new cutting edge techniques and ways to help you catch more and bigger fish. That's what our mission is here at Bass University, as always. So go get signed up, check out Bass U 2.0, check out the new app. And that's what we got going on. We are going to have coming up. It's going to be next week, I think. Might be the week after, but it's going to be next week. We're going to have the Bass University Rundown, the most powerful, important classes of 2025, as really voted on by our viewers. The most impactful seminars and lessons that we've had in this past season. So look for that class coming up next week. We look forward to having Riz back in the studio. He's traveling still, and we'll be coming to the end of our travel season here pretty soon. We will be seeing you guys at the Classic, so look forward to seeing you there in Knoxville. Should be a great event. And what else do we got? Did we in all that was going on, did you manage to get a sub of the week this week, Justin?
You are darn tootin' right, PG. I sure did. But before that, I want to give a quick shout out to the Grease Palace in Athens, Texas. That's where we stayed for these Texas classes. A really cool house right on the lake and on Lake Athens, and it was one of the nicest places we have ever stayed. And just want to give a shout out to them and them for hosting us. It was a great time, and if you ever want to fish Lake Athens, stay there for the weekend. Check out their socials. Grease Palace. We'll tag them and everything like that, and book a stay there, man. It's awesome house. Sub of the week.
It's a great lake that puts out sharelunkers.
It does.
It's a fantastic fishing lake. It's beautiful, and it was. I mean, the house, the stuff that I saw. That's we're not used to those types of accommodations, Justin. It was like 4 stars down there for you guys.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was awesome, and we're nothing but grateful for them extending the invite out to let us stay there. Sub of the week this week is from the classes. We got Tyson Rich, and he's with the instructors on Sunday. So Caleb, Todd, and Lee. Of course, all these seminars that we film, they'll be going up on the app, on the website, Roku, Amazon. We will put them in our schedule next Monday, and they will be in the next 2 weeks or so. You can see the first one being released on bassuniversity.com. So shout out Tyson. And for coming to the seminars every year. He's there every year, him and his dad and some of their other high school team guys. So awesome to see. That's what I got, PG.
Well, the big question on the board right now is Justin going to dominate fantasy fishing again this year? And I say no.
I say, yeah. I'm still waiting for my $5 bill to hang up for the backdrop of the live show. So hopefully we'll get that. Yeah, I expect nothing but dominance. I mean, I have the utmost confidence in myself and my picks. So I'm going to fire that up. Once we get back from the seminars, we'll fire back up the Bass University Fantasy Fishing Group. It was a great year last year. We had a ton of people in it. And then, of course, we'll have our little private in-house one where essentially it's just me and PG head-to-head for the entire Bassmaster Elite Series season. So, well, TW, you guys know I'm going to dominate the old man this year.
Well, don't count me out, man. Don't count me out. You never, ever – don't count out a guy that never quits, and that's me.
True that.
And I want to give a shout out to TW. Jake Gluzek would like to give a shout out to TW because he got a lot of TW Christmas presents under the tree this year.
Thanks to Santa Pete and TW.
Yep, Santa Pete hooked him up. We got a Scoper's Christmas. Pretty cool. One of the things. This is really crazy, man. This I love this. This is very unique bait. Jake wanted
Is that a
it.
blade bait? Is that
It is.
new blade
It's the
bait?
big giz. I got it upside down, but this is the big giz. It's where's that upside down now? I'm all confused. Like a blade bait, but it's all right. So that's 4 inches, big giant blade style bait. Going to be fun to throw that this year.
Yeah, that's that looks interesting. It's you should have got that for him in November. Shoot.
Yep.
Blading on the bay with that big thing, something they've never seen. That's a cool deal.
Yeah. Well, we're we're in the midst of wrestling season right now, so it's we're Jake and I are both. Jake's a wrestler at Lenape High School, and we're man, every time it gets 50 degrees out, we got to get out fishing. We're just going crazy because we've been in the gym for so many weeks, and but it's awesome when wrestling season ends around our house. Fishing season begins. I don't think fishing season ever really ends, and I hope it doesn't end for you guys. So so we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're going to be back next week with another edition of Bass University Live. Get over there, check out the new Bass U 2.0. Justin and the boys really put something special together for you guys. And shout out to Jason, who does so much work behind the scenes for us. Jason H., we appreciate you. And go check out Bass U 2.0. Get the app. Get out there. Learn to catch more and bigger bass consistently. That's what it's going to do for you. Best of luck, guys. We'll see you next week at Bass University Live.